Mbote, Yenge, away Nusiembe Kambutikeno. Luvuvamu, Yala. Gonna be a little bit quiet. Nighttime here. Making this video because, you know, there's some important information that's coming out. I'm finally able to talk about some more things that I wasn't able to talk to because of what's coming. We're going to get into it. We're going to show you today why certain things have been hidden and why they tell everybody that what they tell them about who comes from where, who's who, why you won't believe it, because it's all part of the intentions of stopping the holy Mbanza Kongo from coming back of Isaele. And so I hope you will Kwisi Ambote. I hope you will Wikichila, I should say. Kwisi Ambote, welcome once again. For those of you who celebrated this, Mbote Sambwari, all praises to Tatanzambi. We're going to talk about the day of rest. And this is what they've been counting down to. This is why they refuse to give it up until, this is why Kuso Kongo has said, I have to force them, okay? Because they were never going to give it up. All right, so the phase that's coming is the show, they talk about show of force. Now King Kong is going to show his force. And it's going to be a very interesting time. You know, there were people who kept talking about this Bantu awakening and necromancy, and I'm like, you don't even read the Bible when it talks about the army of Isaele, of Israel, and Ezekiel 37. What do you think that is? It's like, you know, this is why you got to quit listening to people that's going to give you the truth and a lie at the same time, because when Tatanzambi, when the King of Kings comes back, King Kongo, God, the Lord, as people want to say in Christianity, who they think they're talking to, you don't understand that the power of the Most High inside of people manifests in a way that will make you see gods in a way that they've hidden themselves. So the people who are still worshiping Sol Invictus, aka Amon-Ra, whatever you want to call him. I put this thing on Twitter where they showed you when you go to that scene in the Gods of Egypt, where that's your Jesus Christos, by the way, takes the, I forget his name, the actor to the Stargate to go up to talk to Great Ra and his sleigh. That's your Santa sleigh, by the way. And that ark, that's really an ark, or whatever you want to. It's kind of like that's what they used in the movie Star Wars to show you that the Emperor ship matches that thing in the movie Amon-Ra that he sits on, and the Death Star, which is really Jupiter. But understand they coded all this stuff to you. But anyway, we're going to talk about what we're going to tell people more about who they are and what's coming. Okay. I know I've spoken to some people that live in the coastline. I said, yeah, now is a good time to make a move. They actually knew this was going to happen when they coded it in the movie Philadelphia Experiment, but they've been hiding it. Okay, so they know what the Most High going to do. They just don't know when he's going to do it, because he's like that. Many things are going to happen. I remember some talked about, they were like, I was off the coast of Colorado, stuff like that. So we're going to talk about how the Mississippi River is going to be like 3 times its width, stuff like that. So we're going to get into what's going to be coming down. All praises. Manakumbase, Manavela, Sakupazu Zinga, Okuka Matatu. this is the spirit of Tatanzambi, the Moan Levelala, the Moyan Peve, the Bana Bilaka. Many people heard these names. The chosen of the wheat and the things that are going to be manifesting. Okay. I'm going to go to the Holy 12 today to kind of show you why they took that book out, about the fact that the Immaculate Conception really came from Lilith's lie that the Manda was on Yosefu. Okay. The Most High became Yosefu, basically. And that's how Kongo came to be. Because this is how you really are. When you're with Tatanzambi, you become spirit with him, like Fumuyusu. This is how it was with Adama Yakongo before he messed up. That we're going to talk about electricity again, what power really is in Golo, and why they don't ever want people to know. Like I said, then I've always said that the whole concept of what people don't understand is this is about not allowing those chosen to be above those who are fallen yet again. And this has always been the intention of the last 500 years. We're going to talk about the numerology of that and how the gatekeepers have been really lying to people and their fate. Okay. The gatekeepers, it's going to get interesting for them here pretty soon. But we're getting ready for the next phase. I'm going to tell you, I got to bring up that picture. I'm going to talk about, again, I honor all of you who are doing the Most High's work, that are continuing to wake up the people to the truth. I'm going to show you how you can tell today those who are coming from the Most High for real, and those who are really shapeshifters, or you want to call them working for the serpent. Because remember, the serpent originally wasn't bad, but became cursed because of the fact that they permitted. This is how you know animals can make choices too. That he let the fallen one use his body to deceive Mama Eva, and that's why he became cursed, because the fallen ones were already cursed. But of course, at the same time, when Abana saw the spirit, he saw the 6 wings of the fallen angel Lucifer, and that was what people don't get. So, hold on, let me get my thing. Okay, so we're gonna get into the next phase of this. Sister showed me a video, and what was funny was I talked about the plagues 2 years ago, right after I came back from Africa, right after I had about when they were making some attempts on us. The Most High brought us through, and because people won't ever understand that, but they always want to exterminate the lineage of Yaoundé and the Malawi, especially, but specifically, they're always coming after the Kongo, the Benanzami, Bana Isaele, the bloodlines, Israel, whatever you want to call it. There's always going to be the Phoenicians who call themselves the converted Phoenicians, Khazari, whatever you want to call them. You also have the Hamitic Jews, and you also have the Sephardic Jews, because there's different people. This is why they all laying claim. There's the Ishmaelites, all this stuff laying claim to the lineage. When I keep saying this about a bloodline, and the thing about it is, when you don't come from the bloodline, there's only one other place you come from in spirit. That's why people want to keep pushing this whole concept about the Anunnaki and all this other stuff, black, white, whatever you want to call it. But what they don't understand is you come from the Pema Kalunga, you come from Atlantis. That's what they want. That's what they don't tell you. So that's the two, or the Atlantis is basically Amon-Ra. Okay. So we're going to talk about Tatanzambi versus the stork god. That's why you don't ever want to claim the stork god. No, you don't ever want to talk about him because he is not. He comes from Lilith and Adama, but they cover that up. And you don't want to affiliate yourself with him because that's why they have hidden her from the scriptures, because they know and they talk about this is Mami Wata, this is Kalip, this is the all these false gods, this is the serpent seed spirit that can this is why many cultures worship serpents, because they are under the parcel tongue, and that parcel tongue can jack you up. Okay, that's why anybody talking about I heard some stuff about the Barbaria people forget everybody was black. Okay, the barbarians or Barbaria and Tartaria, this is the war that started because it eventually became Gog and Magog. What you don't understand is they were all under the parcel tongue. That's why Tatanzambi, his whole role about us was to separate us from the parcel tongue. Okay. Parcel tongue will always make you break your connection to the Most High. Trust me, I can vouch for this. Okay. The concept of repentance is to break free of the parcel tongue. Okay. So you've heard this in Harry Potter movies. Harry Potter movies are satanic. Okay. Anything dealing with wizardry, sorcery, witchcraft, whatever you want to call it, these type of movies are satanic. Okay. Anything that's doing with using spell casting or any form of incantations is satanic. Okay, there's nothing, people just don't get it. All right. So we're going to talk about that. Let me get my intro going. All praises, Kembo Nitatanzambi. Yenge Keno Pembe Kulunga, Bayete Nkosi, Kembo Hallelujah. You come humbly before your throne again, Tatanzambi Pungu. Bawadi Kulele for the zoners of the Bana Betu of Isaele, Tatanzambi, for we have turned against you. Many of us have gone astray because we did not want to obey the Mwanda. Many of us have gone astray because we went against the doctrines of devils and listened to false doctrines of the wicked one, that spirit that continues to torment our people. King Kimatatanzambi, we ask that you restore us back to our way, that the righteous ones will return and will bring down the Pemba Kalunga, will come down once again to be with the Bana Betu, the city of Nsamu, the Mbanza and Samu, the city of light, will continue to grow in us and around the world. Nakome bene yabe Kongo, Assalamu alaikum Makongo, Manakumas say, Imana, we give honor to the righteous Unkuluntu of the Pemba Kalunga, to all of those who have made it up to the Most High's height, and those who rule as the Gangan Zombie above, to help those who are trying to be our best to be Gangan Zombie below. Nanakuma say, Imana, Okay, once again, I got on my fringes, so it's not just a t-shirt. But we're gonna get into it. It's gonna get deep today. All right. I know you can't probably hear my intro. I do this for me. And Simba. Kill him, stand up, kill him. praises. I'll play the song here shortly. Hymn, hallelujah. Kalima. Simba Wayuda, we're getting close. I actually was quoted today. Some things that I saw that were showing me that were, and I actually, they coded it over there in Israel, but everybody understood it. They talked about the wife of Antina Davidi and the Tatu. And so, for those who don't know, I'm talking about Abigail. We're going to talk about some things that people don't even know. Okay, for sure. When we talk about having the law, and the law actually is a word that is raw, because we used to speak with the L, and law and raw are the same. Okay. We're going to talk about it. The Weezer in sequel. Okay, let me get to let me share my screen. In sequel. And some other people might use another word. Weezer do covenant. The law in sequel. We didn't say law. Law actually means raw. Okay. I actually did that was what it was. I saw the Star of Alba today. And it was like, the funny part about it is the person's last name was Rain, where the word rain really comes from Babylon. Okay. So this is something that we didn't say like that. We actually had put it on here. We would say Luyalu, or Kuyala. This is why we say Yala. Kuyala, rain, Kuyala. See, Luvuvamu Yala, Kuyala, rain. Okay. Or Luyalu. Okay. So may Tatanzambi Kuyala. May most Tatanzambi Kuyala. Or Tatakongo Kuyala. Okay. Luvuvamu is peace. So now, Kuyala, rain. See, we didn't say it like that. Rain is all about the paganism. All right. So when we're talking about the Kuyala that's coming with Mount Sion, Zulu Mongo, Mount Sion, we're going to be transitioning into another phase. Now, this vision that I'm allowed to speak a little bit about that I had a few months ago is going to be massive, because I was witnessing when King Kongo is going to be, how shall we say this, bringing down some serious retribution on people. And I saw many people that you would think that weren't going to be part of the goats, as you so say. It was a goat and sheep vision, and those who were going to be executed for misleading the sheep. And I do mean executed. Okay. I know that there's going to be, just like it says in the scriptures when it talks about the people who made the golden calf, what happened between Eliah and Jezebel, who was really, I wanted to pull up that lady's face. That's why they're so big on Nama, because that actually was the wife of Solomon that he wasn't supposed to marry. And they're claiming it's the same woman that was also before in the days of Kaina. I know that they mix things up so much sometimes. Hold on a second. Because sometimes if you do the share wrong, it won't show you. Okay, but anyway, I hope everybody's doing well. It's I know people are struggling now because and just to tell you, I know what we're teaching is getting out there. I had an encounter today um, with a young person, and we got to talking, and she talked about her and her brother, and it's funny because I mentioned the Bantu truth, and she says, "Oh yeah, we've heard of that." So the problem is that it's coming out. People are learning things. There's people paying attention that you don't even know, and it's just that, and they're realizing, and even she said, she's a young lady, and she's like, yeah, my brother and I, we talked about how there's a lot of people being deceived about things and they don't understand. And she even said, oh, the Bantu people have such a beautiful culture. And I'm like, she obviously looked into it. So it's like they are paying attention, but the problem is our culture is tainted because we don't understand. Many of us are going to be still dealing with this demon. I want to show you who he is. And they don't understand that this is the problem. Many people are actually manifesting in this power. And that's why I tell people you can only get the real power from the one place. So don't assume that anybody's really doing it if they've gone to the other side. I'm gonna bring up the right. I'm gonna bring up the right complexion, not the one that they think. Okay, and then you're gonna understand this is more like her. I'm taking so long here. Okay. Now, of course, many people think that Intinu Solomon was white, but this would have been more like the complexion of the Pharaoh's daughter. This is one of the reasons why the Ashkenazi people are so high upon this woman whose name was Nama, which they technically claiming it to also be connected to the woman who was Kaina's daughter, because at that time that was also the spirit of Lilith, okay, that was in this woman, and this is this would have been about the right complexion for her, because this is exactly the complexion of Mama Eva and Lilith. So just about maybe a shade darker, okay. But this is about right, okay. That's one of the reasons why he messed up, because she made herself extremely beautiful, okay. And Solomon was like, whoa, this woman is, oh my gosh. And see, people don't understand. This is one of the reasons why beautiful women will always be the weakness that the devil uses to entrap Bana Betu of Isaele. Okay. He's always been doing this because he knows Lilith was made technically perfect. She was beautiful. Okay. And Mama Eva, the same way. They were very beautiful people. They were not, no knock on people who want to talk about ugly, whatever. No, they were the perfected version of man and female. Okay. That's why they say vanity, beauty, vanity. In Solomon, they say everything's vanity, and yet he trapped himself with vanity. That was the problem in Tina Solomon. So now, when we talk about Kuswa Kongo's mother, Malia Makongo, she was she would have been very similar to this, very beautiful. She would have been attractive. Kuswa Kongo was handsome, okay? He was not ugly at all. He was perfect. He was like Adama, because him and Adama could have been twins. Because Adama, Mama Tata Adama was the Most High's image. Beautiful, handsome, good looking, okay? And Kuswa Kongo was the same, okay? Many people don't understand is that Zombies people normally, when they were in obedience, were very radiant people. And I mean, they knew who we were because we were the most powerful, attractive, we were purified because see, when the Most High removed a lot of the Anunnaki, this is why he hated when we kept doing this. When he removed Atlantis from us, we were perfect. We had perfection about us. Okay. That's why when it was talking, our hearts were always the intima. We talk about the sacrifice of the heart, and I know that video was just done by Yaya. I haven't had a chance to watch it. I look forward to it. But the problem is that this is why Shaitani went always after the heart. Okay, that's why Kuso Kongo made the heart significant when it came to the love of the Father. This is why he said, Davidi had an intima like the Most High. Okay, his intima was for a passion of his people to do righteously. Okay, by bringing in the Pharaoh's daughter, okay, she was a seductress. She was, and this is the saddest part. This is one of the reasons why Black women get such a bad rap. Because first of all, the first two women were Black. They couldn't cover this up. Okay. The next thing is, why do they see white women the way they see them? Is because the Kaina's children, because remember, Kaina or Canaan, okay, Canaan, all of the children of Kami were Black. Okay. Kushi, Puti, Kemi, Kanani. I'm saying the names how they would have said it. Okay, Kanani, their daughters, I can't call their names because he had daughters too. They were all Black. Okay. So this is the reason why the world has issues with Black people to begin with. Okay. And see, and Samuel's children were also Black, and so was Yepeta. Okay. So when you want to talk about why is the black race getting such a bad rap, is because for the white people who know, they say, hey, you melanated people, you messed up. But see, they can't do any better because technically they were cursed. They just don't understand this. They'll say, oh, no, now you're being racist. I'm like, no, you know, your ancestors were black. Okay. The problem is we had those who want to be like the Watchers, because the Watchers were also black. The Watchers of Mount Hermon were melanated angels. Okay, they're lying to people all the time. Sol Invictus was black. The Nimrod called him ANU. Okay, and then of course that name got changed to Anubis in the Egyptians. Okay, but Saturn, as he was called by the Canaanites, he was a melanated angel. The first angel made look like Adama. That's why the Most High says, what are you so stupid? This is me. You're bowing down to me on the earth. What are you talking about, knucklehead? That's why he's an idiot, because it's like, this is me. Where he's like, no, I was made of fire and he's made of, because the Most High made the Maleki Kongo out of fire. That's why they have the power that they have. And then he made us out of flesh. And he's like, I'm not bowing down to flesh. No way. And he didn't understand that this is me. This is me on earth representing myself to the creation. You don't get it, which he'll never get it. That's why he don't like, but he, like he said, he don't like no flesh above him, okay? That's the problem. So one of the reasons why black people get a bad rap is we are the original people. We started sinning against King Kongo. When people, there was a video that this person talked about where they said, oh yeah, these angels came from another planet, which that's all garbage. They came from another realm. Okay. Nibiru, when the Mosai, they had their, when Setani set up his kingdom or whatever, Nibiru was the name of it. Okay. And that's where the whole Mars and Jupiter and, like I said, don't believe NASA. They work for these fallen angels. They know what it looked like. Okay. They can look through the telescope and you go see, and Shaitani will give you the image of the fake sky. You don't get it. It's all part of the thing. Oh, Saturn got rings. You know, his rings are wicked. Let's go to the scripture, the Holy 12. Okay. Now, I'm not going to say, now let me show you how you know he didn't have a J. The Gospel of the Holy 12, the name is spelled with an I. Now, this is also a deception because this is the same name of the pig god that was called by Rome Jesus Christos, which of course we know is Tammuz. Okay. We never called our Messiah Jesus Christos. No. Isu Christu, Kuswa Kongo, from a Yisu, Yesue, but we never know Jesus Christos. Jesus Christos put, let me put it like this. Jesus Christos put Yesu Christu on the cross because Sol Invictus, aka the pig god, he killed Uzziah because he was trying, because that's who the Sanhedrin worship. Because the converted Phoenicians, Tammuz, who was the Mesopotamian god, was their god, and that's what was causing us to break the laws and statutes and commandments of the Most High. And we, for Tammuz again, which we never stopped doing this for whatever, I don't know what the deal is. It's like, what is the problem here? Why do we always end up weeping for that stupid uncle of ours when he was not the Messiah? He was wicked like his father, okay? He cannot save anybody. He was the sorcerer. He's Kaina, okay? They cannot save us. And then his image of leopard Kaina made it even worse. That's why everybody missed on the fact that that they come from, when you worship that stupid idiot who thought he was the Messiah, and his mother said so, okay, your God is Sol Invictus. Your God is Amon-Ra. You're not talking to the Most High, and that's why you're getting played by the people who work for him. All right, and in the 6th month, the Maliki Kama Gablia and Zombie. Remember that I said the house of El, it was of Shaitani, was sent from Tatanzambi, not God. The God is from the dog god. God was a word even used in Egypt. Okay. Onto the city of Galil. Now we know people have actually demonstrated this, that Galil is really an Embo, in Ethiopia, named Nasari. Okay, that people talk about in South Africa, they know what this is. To the virgin espoused to the man who was Yosephu of the house of Davidi. This is why he became, this is how he became a king. Yosephu's grandfather is Intinu Davidi. This is why they want him to be white, okay? Because if you say Yosephu was black, then they know who the 12 tribes are. And the virgin's name was not Mary, but Malia Makongo. It was M-A-L, like Maria, but you know how what the Catholic Church is they turn the Y into an I. Okay, it was Malia. It was an L in the Kongo, Malia. Okay. This is why people think that's a Hawaiian name. That's where they got it from the Bana Betu. Okay. Yosephu was just a rational mind, and he was skilled in all manner of work in wood and stone. That's why you can consider them the masonry concept. Okay. Because that's also the same thing for the imposter dude. Malia was tender in the son's soul. She wrote veils. She wrought veils for the temple, and they were both pure for the Tanzania and them were Isu. See, they call him Yesu Malia, who's called Kristu. Okay, change that to a Y. Yesu. Like I said, the Catholic Church, they took the Y's and changed them into I's for a reason. And who is called Kristu. And then Maliki came on to her and said, Hail Mary, that thou art highly favored by the mother, the Mfumu or Mama of Tatanzambi, as we thee, Bilaka are thou among women, and Bilaka the fruit of thy womb. And when she saw, she was troubled, saying and cast in her mind what manner such a solution should be. And we could come and say unto her, Fear not, Malia, for thou hast found favor with Tatanzambi. Behold, thou shalt conceive in thy womb and bring forth a child, and I will be great, and should be called the son of the highest. And the Mfumu shall give unto thee. So it says, where did it say it? And it says, and Mfumu shall give thee the throne of David, and he shall reign over the house of Yakubi forever. He shall reign over the house of Yakuba forever. Isaele, the house of Yakuba. Now, this is where Christians are so deceived. Those who come from pagan backgrounds cannot be of the house of Yakuba. You have to come through the house of Yakuba to get to the Most High. And all of this kingdom shall be no end. Then she said to the Kongo, how shall this be seen, how I know not a man? And the Maliki said unto her, the horn of Velada shall come upon Yosephu, thy spouse, and the power of the highest shall overshadow thee. Therefore also the holy thing which shall be born shall call the Kristu. The child of Tatanzambi, and his name shall be Yesu, shall be called Yesu Malia. Yesu, and that's why we say in Kuswa Kongo, anointed Malia, because if you know what the name Malia means, okay, for he shall save the people from their sins. On whosoever shall repent and obey his, where's the word? What did I say? Law. Nsiku. This is why I keep trying to tell people they took this out for a reason. So that Christians would say, oh, the law was done away with. No. And he even said, I did not come to abolish the law. Therefore, ye shall eat no flesh, nor drink no strong drink, for the child will be consecrated unto Tatanzami from his mother womb. And neither flesh nor strong drink shall take, nor shall razor touch his head. And behold, thy cousin Elizabeth, this is where Elizabeth is coming. Okay, Elisabetta, this is why you think the Queen Elizabeth and all them, oh yeah, they're like the cousin of Malia. No, wrong. They're lizard people. They're hybrids. Have conceived a son in her age, and this in the 6th month with her, who will be called barren. For Tatanzami, no thing shall be impossible. Malia said, behold, a handmaid of the Mfumu, be it unto me according to the word, and the Maliki Kongo departed from her. Now, when you look at the calendar, okay, and this is what people don't get. The 6th month from this time would have been Sambanu month. Okay, so Sambanu is the 6th month of the Kikongo, okay, Sambanu. So now, which would have been similar to the word Kiasabala. So now, he would be born in the springtime, because this is still in the womb. And in the same day, the Maliki Kongo Gablia. This is why Shaitani has appeared as this angel. Remember, I did the teaching about how he is a Gangan zombie Maliki, and that's why he a priest, and he's the one that records the zonos of the Bana Betu. So when Shaitani, whose name really means accuser, when he goes to court, when he was going to court of the Most High to accuse Yakubi of their sins, this Maliki has to either, when the Most High say, you have this sin, he gonna write it down. If the sin is expunged, he erases it. He keeps track of this. Okay, that's what you want. See, you want this Maliki to be your friend, not your enemy. Okay, that's why I know something. I know about him because I'm connected to him in many ways. But it's like that's how I've been knowing that. Obviously, the devil's been impersonating this angel, because there's no way you're gonna have 2 different laws. No way. Okay. And you can't just make stuff up. No. That's why I know Muhammad was a false prophet, even though he was black. Like I told people, black people don't necessarily have to be from the Most High. The devil can trick people. He created Muhammad so that Bantu people would turn, because what it was is that the Bana Betu of Isaele, many of us were running away from the pagan Rome Christian deceiver, from the Church of Laodicea, and also the modifications being made by the converted Phoenicians. So we were running away from that. So he needed another way to trap us. So this is when he appeared to Muhammad, who was a Catholic, and his wife, who lived with the nuns, who was older than him. And like when she said after he finished the Quran, she didn't recognize him. But that was because he was under the trance of Gadriel, saying that he was Gabriel. And like I said, this is why the Holy 12 is not in the Bible, because the Holy 12 will now contradict Islam. Because it says, the angel said that he will follow his law. And Kuso Kongo's law, Fumu his law is Tatanzambi's law. Okay? So then it says, The fatherhood of Tazam is with thee. Blessed art thou among men and Muntu, not men, Muntu. And blessed is the fruit of, and blessed be the fruit of thy loins. Whoa, 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 whoa. Hold up. Hey. The Maliki said, Bilaka are among Muntu, and Bilaka be the fruit of thy loins. So this right here destroys everything that Rome has been preaching about the Messiah. This is why it's not in the Bible. The Immaculate Conception that they're talking about is that garbage that the imposter woman was talking about when they were going to, when she was going to be, they were coming after her after Nimrod died. You don't understand this. They were coming after her because they said Nimrod was not supposed to be able to die because he was a god. Because he didn't rise up. He stayed dead after he died, okay? And they said, wait a minute, I thought, how can he be, he's not a god if he's staying dead. And then she said, oh no, I'm going to show you that he was a god because I'm going to resurrect him as a rebirth of the son she created in Tammuz. But then after he got killed, she said, oh no, I'm going to prove to you, I'm going to show you that I can resurrect him. And that's when you have the festival of Ishtar that started with that. And then she put the bunny in there and this stupid magic hat, because see, the hat was connected to what the hat that Nimrod had to wear, because when he was made a leper, this is why he had a mask. Okay, this is why many Hamitic tribes are using that mask. Okay, he had a mask. He had these gloves on his hands, and he had, of course, jewelry. He had a certain type of robe. It had to be from the neck down because he lived in the hot heat, and he was a leper after the Mosai changed him. His eye was already gone because the crow took it. Okay, and he was going bald because that's where I told people, because my father has this problem. I told people, because I said Nimrod is our grandfather, and through his wife, daughter. If you're going bald, you have the curse of Nimrod on you. You don't understand. This is why Bantu people, if you know you're worshiping the wrong God, if your hair is falling out. If your hair is falling out, you're going the wrong way. There's no reason, this whole scientific, oh yeah, this and that, no, it's a lie. If your hair is falling out, it's because you're praying to the wrong God. They lied to you. And they made you okay with it, not understanding that there's no reason why your hair would fall out if you're with the right God. Why would he? He wouldn't curse you if you're doing things right. No way. See, I'm tell you, the 12 tribes have no business praying to Amon-Ra. But you don't know that, okay? Because the Amon-Ra worshippers are lying to you. And I'm going to show you why real quick. This is the idiot that you keep getting tricked by. And they even put his name in the movie Back to the Future. Now, of course, this name, the word Hebrew didn't exist. It's actually the Kongo people who knew who he was. Tannin, Syriac, okay, Arabic, okay, they all know him. Akkadian, okay, was a sea monster in a Canaanite and Hebrew mythology. Okay, it's not mythology. That's the problem. No, you got shapeshifters with this joker running around in them. The Greeks call him the Kraken. Okay. He is in the mythology used as a symbol of chaos and evil. Okay. He appears in the Baal cycle as one of the servants of Yam, the sea. Yam, now you see why you eat yams. The word yam is a god. You see how they put these things into our language? Okay, we didn't call these things. I keep trying to tell you, they got us cursing ourselves. Let me see if there's a Bantu word for it, what it should be called. Mbala or bamboo. Oh, bamboo. Bamboo, like the, okay, mbala. Just vegetable. You're not supposed to be saying no YAM. Okay? These people got tricks and tricks. This sorcerer got tricks and tricks and tricks and tricks, boy. So that you can put these are what I call mermaid spirits. You know, the brother who talked about his visit down there. Okay. And they use the ayahuasca thing to go into their trances. That's why these people go, when you're normally talking to the fallen angels, you're in a trance because they're spirit. This is how they welcome you into their body and they put you into a trance. That's what the mantra's for. Okay. So he's usually depicted as a serpent, possibly with a double tail. Now, remember I talked about how the serpent wasn't originally evil. That's why when you see what happened with Mose, when he took his staff and he threw it down, he turned the serpent first. And then the two, now this is why I could tell you this, the two wizards, they threw their staff down and it became two serpents. And of course, in the book of Yase, they're telling you that this is a prophecy they already knew was coming when we came. So that's what I'm trying to tell you. Don't think that these people didn't know that our Exodus was already prophesied. That's why they had to go since 1885 and start lying to people about the end of the 400 years, like I said. When you look at, and I'm going to put this into perspective now, and this is what the Manda, they're seeing this. I did the numerology, Masa, this is why the spirit of Methuselah and Hanoka has been here since we left, preaching to the other people, hey, you need to put this back. Okay, this is when Kaina or Canaan, a Kaina spirit took over the world after the kingdom of Kongo fell. Okay, what that happened was, this was to be like the days of Noka, to where now those who were supposed to be from this Mbanza Samu or Salama, the city of light, would once again be used to build the cities of darkness. We never stop having this problem. Every time we go into captivity, we building the cities of darkness. Okay, we building this Joker cities because this is the spirit of Kaina. This is what came into Nimrod. This is what came into the all the Hamitic tribes. This is the spirit. Okay, this is connected to Leviathan. Okay, you got to understand, when you are hearing people talk about Hamitic rituals, they are possessed with this deity. This is what we're fighting. And it was from the Canaanites. Remember, the Most High gave us their land. That's why Tatanzambi said, do not interact with them. But did we listen? No. Okay, look what happened. Yaoundé, Yuda had a wife that was Canaan. Reuben had a wife that was Canaan. And this is when I told you Christianity is our Bantu spirituality mixed with this God. That's what it really is. So then this God is also connected to the Egyptians. This is why the Pharaoh's wearing the cobra on his head, because of this God. Okay? The cobra is affiliated with this deity. And so is that's what the one that's other poisonous one that they used to have, the python, you know, these are all affiliated with this. That's why when you had the Montevelala, I forget, I can't call the name, but they were bitten by the snake and it didn't have to happen to them. Y'all probably remember the story better than me or not. I'm drawing a blank. But it was like they were bitten by the snake. Oh, and this is the reason why this when Mose, when the Most High had the serpents biting us and people were getting sick and poisoned, he told him to go put the snake up on the pole. And when we looked to it, we were healed, which is the one snake. Do you know where he got that snake from? The rod. The staff that Masa was carrying was in Fumu Yisu, in spirit. You don't, Yalon Kuvu. You don't get it. So that snake that was on the pole represented Fumu Yisu Kufa Kongo. I bet you didn't know that. Because that was the Mwanda Velada that was healing those people. So that's why I try to tell you, not all snakes are bad. That's what Ezekiel saw when he saw the snake. Okay? So the Tannins appeared in not the Hebrew Bible, but the Nkanda. The book of Wantete Wamosi, which they call Exodus, Genesis is really a word that comes from the Greeks. We didn't call it that. It was not called Exodus, but we say that. These names, this is in Tumba. Okay, they are explicitly listed among the creatures created by Tatanzambi on the fifth day. Now, the fifth day, of course, would be Tanu. Now you're going to see why this creature has this name. Tanu, see, Tananu. Because why? Because they were made on the fifth day. And this is where you're going to get that whole concept about fifth element and stuff like this. Okay? So now, this is also listed in the Apocalypse of Isaiah. I'm going to read this book one of these days. And among the beasts, Yahweh on that day translated the King James Version as the dragon. Now remember, if you go to Kongo and you put in the word dragon, we call them dragon. See, that word stayed. I don't know why, that's kind of weird. So that's a word they got from us. So it says, and in the Revelation 13, Satan is portrayed as the dragon who gives the political bodies of power. So in Daniel, this is on Zambayeli, but they call it Danieli. See, this is how we say Revelation. Ibuna na kusonga. We didn't say Revelation. Bo kemonisa satana bonso dragoni. Yina kepesa bisi ya makasa a politiki ngola yarandi kiti yayandi ya kumfumu ti kiyeka na yandi yanene. Now, the political aspect of everything, the politiki at this time is represented by Rome. You don't understand this. People don't understand this. It was also the spirit that was upon the people who were causing us to break the laws. Okay? That's why in the Holy 12 that I just read, Okay. That's why he said, he shall save people from their sins. And then people would have been bound to. See, what they have done is they took everybody as people when it was really muntu, bantu. That's why salvation comes through the Bana Betu, is what your Honor should have said. That's why he said, I did not come to bring peace. People don't understand that. They say, oh, they get in Christmas time, they say, oh, the Prince of Peace is here. And no, he did not say that. He said, when I reign, there will be peace. He said, until it is my turn to reign, this is what people, oh, what did I say? When his, kuyala, when his kuyala is, there would be peace. Solomon. He showed us, okay, the way you have peace is to obey the law, statutes, and commandments in spirit and in truth. Obey the spirit, you obey the law. You don't obey the spirit, you're going to have what? Turmoil, conflict. This is why he said it'd be worse for you to, and see, here's where people don't get it. This is why I try to tell people, black people better wake up. They keep talking about, oh, white people, this. Most of Babylon and Sodom and Gomorrah were melanated people. Okay. Now, did the hybrids come into the picture during the time of Ishmael? Yeah. When they were made in Atlantis, they had part of this too. Okay. But it wasn't always, but they were originally dark before they got changed. Okay. So here we go. He said, fruit of the loins. And Yosef thought upon these words, he was troubled. And Amriki said, when Fumu said unto me, fear not, Yosef, the Bena Davidi, for thou hast found favor with Tatanzambi. And behold, thou shalt beget a child, and thou shalt call his name Yisumalia. People say, oh, Emmanuel. Huh? Why does it say Yisumalia? For they shall save his people from their sins. Emmanuel is a Bantu connected word from the Greek. But we call him Yusukristu, Kongo. Once what happened? The Mwanda stepped in there. After he was baptized, his name was changed. Now all this was done that it might fulfill which was written by the prophet, saying, behold, a maiden shall conceive and be with child, and shall bring forth a Bena, and shall call his name Emmanuel, which means interpreted, Tatanzambi, within us. See the difference between with us and within us? That little change right there shows you that in order to be like the Most High, Kuso Kongo has to be in you. That's why I told you, this is why they wanted us, this is why we were stupid to reject the Wizardo 500 years ago for being the Nzon Zombie in spirit and worry about the physical temple. Why did that happen? Because of this people who were possessed by this stupid God. This is what happened. The people who always think this God is this stupid wicked demon is affiliated with the temple of Moabi that Intino Solomon built when he got married to the Pharaoh's daughter. Okay? Now this is how they portray her. Yeah, right. No, she did not look like this, I guarantee you. Okay, so now, let me go back. We're going to go back to the Acts of Andrew. So now, and Yosef being raised from sleep, did as the Maliki had hidden, and he went into marry and espoused the bride, and she conceived in her womb the Holy One. And Malia rose in those days and went into the hill country with haste into a city of Yaoundé, and entered in the house of Zacchaeus, and saluted Zachariah, and Elizabeth, and began to pass. When Elizabeth did the salutation, Malia, the babe, leapt in her womb. Elizabeth was filled with the Ngolo of the Mwanda Velala, and spake with a clear voice and said, Bilaka art thou among women, and Bilaka is the fruit of thy womb. Whence this is to me that the mother of my infirmity should come in me. For lo, as soon as the voice of thy sounded in my ears, the babe leaped for joy. Because this is Yoani Umbotika. I'll say the word boutique, where it came from. It's a Kongo word. All right. For thou hast said, I will preserve and make thee a covenant of the Bana Betu, not the people. Because this was all about the house of the Bana Saka Yakubi, to renew the face of the earth, and to cause the desolate places to be redeemed from the hands of the spoiler. What did Kuso Kongo come to do? Take away the paganism, like I told you. This is why the earth would change and be renewed. And they covered this up, and they noticed that something had happened when the Intinu Salamas, when the symbol of light was on earth with us. Okay? This is what he was doing in the time that before he started his ministry. He was going to the holy places and rectifying what the fallen ones had done. Okay? This is how you know that they're lying to you in Christianity. Now watch this. That thou mayest say to the captives, go ye forth and be free. And to them that are in the darkness, show yourselves in the light. And they shall feed in the ways of pleasantness, and they shall no more hunt nor worry the creatures which I have made to rejoice before thee. Hello. Is that the case with Christians? No. Okay. How many Christians out there going hunting? Are the animals really rejoicing? I don't think so. They shall not hunger nor thirst anymore, neither shall the heat smite them, neither shall the heat smite them, nor the cold destroy them. How many Christians out there? Muslims out there? Judaism for sure. Arab, Hindu, whatever you want to believe in. How many of you out there freezing your tail off or getting destroyed by heat rash, heat cancer, melanoma, okay? I will make in all my mountains a way for travelers. I will make in all my mountains a way for travelers. So what does that mean? You don't have to go drilling through the mountain to get the mountain will be made open. The power you don't have to go get a ditch digger and start breaking down mountains and all this other stuff. The mountain will be made for you for travelers. You see how they had to go and dynamite so that cars can travel through ways and all this other stuff? No, he says, I will make in all my mountains a way for travelers. That means your way going through the mountains would be easy, not hard. You see, people don't understand. They took this off for a reason. And my places shall be exalted. Is that what you see going on now? See, you have 1,000,001 churches. Are they being exalted like they should be? No. You have 1,000,001 holy synagogues, mosques, okay? Are they being exalted? No. Sing ye heavens and rejoice ye earth. O ye deserts break forth in song. Why? Because now with the Most High being here, the desert is not cursed. The land changes. Thou, O Mfumu, dost comfort thy people and console them that have suffered wrong. This is why it was so foolish of us that would reject the Most High's way when he was doing these things. And listen to the imposters up here who were who were consumed by the demon I just showed you. Because that was their God. Okay? So now, what you have to understand is when the kingdom of Kongo, the Intotila, was restored by Tatanzambi, the earth was different. And that's how they knew, wait a minute, something has happened. We need to go see what's going on. This is what the Romans saw. This is what the Moors, everybody knew this. When the kingdom of Kongo the Intotila, when the Maleki Kongo called us back and started to reassert our will on this earth, it got the attention of all the spiritual people. Whoa, something is here. Don't think that they didn't, because they're going to cover it up. They knew who the 12 tribes, the 12 kingdoms were. Okay? This was not going to sit well with the dragon. No, with that serpent, like I showed you. Because like I said, that means our people had dominion over the creation, but not the way that Kaina was doing it. We had a how should I say, relationship with the nature in which the nature obeyed us, just like what happened in the garden. This is how our kingdom was when we existed. That's why when we had those among us who were wicked, who said we were better off with the heathen, as an insult to the Most High, okay, they created this problem to where our land became cursed when it shouldn't be. The world, see, when you look at what they have created over there in the Middle East, and then you look at America, and you look at, because they keep talking about, oh, we have a new Salem and this and this and that. Okay, when you look at America's cities, are America's cities in peace or turmoil? When you go to Europe, are Europe's cities in peace or in turmoil? When you go to Africa, when you go to Egypt, you go anywhere, you go to the Middle East, okay? Are the cities really in peace? No, there's not. When you have a righteous king, that's why when Toko came, they knew he was starting to do what? He was starting to bring peace. That's why the devil had to come and start running interference. Okay? And that's why he was trying to get him to stop so many times. Because what that would do is it would transition the world back the way it should be. Okay? And this is why when he said it, when he said he apologizes for the arrests of the 15th, for the the 15, okay, I'm sorry about the 15 arrests suffered from 1976 to 1979. Listen to this. I did not expect to receive so much mistreatment from the hands of my own countrymen. Not even, this is how you can tell the real Mayamona, the real, let me make it very clear. A real Mayamona is hated in their own country. Remember, it says, no prophet is appreciated in their own land. No. I'm telling you, there's a lot of imposters out here. It's like the government will not be happy that you're there when you are being controlled by the NWO elites, because then they know they have to do what you say and they won't like it. They won't like it. No. Okay. I did not expect to receive so much mistreatment from the hands of my own countrymen. Not even the Portuguese colonists have reached this point. But I tell you that, and you're going to tell me, let me tell you something. I know, this is how I know that something was off when I went to Angola. Because I saw how the Portuguese were treating the Angolans. It hasn't changed. You think it, even with that dude who's running the presidency? No. The Portuguese still mistreating the Angolans. Okay. That's why they're going to get some big hits coming. Like they happened with the dude that got resigned. Sorry. But I tell you the truth, that in the way that you have courted and shattered my body, this country will also be shattered. Now do you see why Angola has had all of the problems they had since he left? The Most High cursed that place. So then how could it, then with his, see, this is what I'm trying to tell people. With his return, Angola would be brought to peace, because that would be the end of the people that are causing the problems. I'm telling you, a lot of these people calling themselves Quatalendo, they full of it, because Angola is not at peace. No way, it's actually really bad. And you can see what America, like I told you, I see how the West is affecting them. Okay? Therefore, the change ended. If anyone among you is arrested, it will not that because of the word of Tatanzambi, but because of another cause to which he is involved. And this is what we're talking about with Neto. Okay? I will never die. Whatever the method used by the rulers of people of this world, I will never die. As of today, Christu arrest has ended. If anyone among you is arrested, it will not be because of the word of Tatanzambi, because of another cause involved. The arrest of Tatanzambi Christ ended. The arrest of Tatanzambi in Christu ended today, January 31st, 1979, and in this day was dedicated to the Tokwis youth in Angola and the world. Okay? I, Simo, who came into the world to suffer for you, fulfilled all the chains that Satan reserved for the torment of Tatanzambi's people. Now, this is how you know that they did not tell us and the rest of the world. Why do you think they covered it up? Because if you're getting arrested, let me say it again, if you're getting arrested and in trouble with the law now, it's because you're still connected to the wrong God. You see how they rigged the game against us? Who do you think knew that he did this? But at the same time, this is why the sorcerer put together a plot to interfere with many things. Because when I saw what I saw, it's like, whoa, how could Tokois be being mistreated this way if he did this? So that means you something's wrong. Sol Invictus is now, so now you're back to Amon-Ra. I'm telling you, even Toko said the Bible was not 100% correct. So if you're saying the Bible was written by Amon-Ra. So if you're going to say that the Bible is 100% correct, your God is Amon-Ra, because he wrote the Bible. Okay. And this day was dedicated to the Tokois youth. I, Simo, the man who came into the world to suffer for you, fulfilled all the chains. And in the fulfilling letter, I went out and closed all the doors of the jails. Therefore, from the moment on, if the word of Tatan will multiply, he will bless his church. So then now you can tell that the churches are not worshiping the right God. Because the Masonic churches, you see Christians going to jail, don't you? You see people, and that's why they say, oh, Christians are being tormented, and Christians are being this, and Christians are being that. No, Toko just said, you should not be. You're hated, okay? Now do you see why they had to use the gatekeepers to let the people know, don't you dare teach the real truth, or else the law of America, the law of any country that we were in, would have no impact upon you. You cannot go to prison anymore if you have the right God. If you're doing the Most High's law, statutes, and commandments in spirit and in truth, they could not touch you because of this. That's why they did not want people to know what happened. Good. Now, you see now he controls the judges of this world? You think they're going to tell you that? He literally controls the Supreme Court of the United States. They can't touch you when you're with King Kongo in spirit and truth. He literally controls the magistrates of all of Europe, of Asia, of Africa, all of these people. They cannot put you in prison if you're talking to Tatanzam in spirit and truth. And you're doing the righteous path. See? So now you know they're making money. The reason they're making money of our imprisonment is because they lied to us about who we serve. When you're worshiping Amon-Ra, you're going to go to prison. You're going to get in trouble. You're going to have all these problems in your life. Now, if you go back to Tatanzami and Pungu, of course, you're going to still suffer in the Babylonian system, but it's much harder for them to touch you because of what Mayamona did. See? That's the reason why they lie about the churches today. You get it now? And this goes back to what it's talking about in the Holy 12. Your path will be made straight for you. when your Messiah is in you. This is not what's going on in the paganism that they're teaching. So now when you're practicing the paganism, do you see what happens? When you're not practicing the paganism, you're not doing, you're turning over to the righteous path that was set by the laws that the Kongo did. People understand that's the whole reason why Simon Toko was going to prison so many times, is he was trying to reverse everything that Rome did, which is what was supposed to continue to happen after he was gone. Meaning, we go back to the way it was in the kingdom of Kongo de Ntotela. That's where he was pushing us. See, people don't understand his people were hung in their white clothes. They were burned alive. They had all these things happening with the Portuguese. Because that's why he said, I will send more like me, and you will not be able to do anything about it. Okay? That's why here in this, where I am, they want to make sure, okay, to use the means that they can to cause me to mess up among all the rest of us. This is why they had to put imposters among his own people. This is even among the Kimbangas, all the other things. Because the concept is, like the scripture says it, when you are in the hands of Nzambi and Pungu, it's no different than just like what happened with Abana. Even when they threw him into the fire, he did not burn. He sat there and he's like, hey, he walked around in it, a furnace. What? Okay. You're not going to get bullets in your body if the Most High don't let it happen. You have to weaken yourself by focusing on false things to cause this to happen. Myself included. You see, that's why that serpent that I showed you, he needs to make sure that he interferes with your ability to become invincible. Because once you become like that, you run the whole system. Just like he says, just like the Most High says, they must answer to you, not the other way around. That's why I told you the gatekeepers have been lying to us and to the whole world. We already have the power over the people who serve Amon-Ra. We have it already. He just said so. That's why I said, man, you cannot trust these people who took these oaths, because they work for that false god. You must reject what they have taught us. That is the evil part, because like I said, you have the God of good and evil. You must know the good and reject the evil. Okay? That's why when I go down to the next part, and actually, we're going to talk to Malia Magdala. Okay. And one of the Pharisees desired him that he would eat with him, and he went into the Pharisee's house, and he sat down to eat. And behold, a certain woman of Magdala, that's why she had the name. People don't understand is we didn't have a last name. No. This is what I was talking about when they talked about Judas Iscariot, when they kind of said that, he came from the Edomites. It's like, no, back in those days, where Bantu people were scattered, they called you by where you lived and where you came from. So you see where it says, and behold, a certain woman of Magdala. That's how she was called by that, because that was where she lived, who was reputed to be a sinner, was in the city, and when she knew that Esau sat and meat with the Pharisee house, she brought an alabaster box of ointment and stood on his feet behind him, weeping, and washed his feet with tears, and did wipe them with the hairs of her head, and kissed his feet, and anointed them with anointment. Now, of course, they're going to say, oh, then she must have had that long hair like this and whatever. They don't understand black women hair, how it can grow out. Can look like white people hair even if you don't get it. Our hair can be loose like wool. You ain't never seen it. Okay. When the Pharisee didn't, he thought himself saying, this man, Muntu, if he were a prophet, he would have known who and what manner of woman this is and touches him, for she is a sinner. So you see, in our culture in that time, we had this mentality that wicked people don't touch prophets. Okay. And Esau answered, said unto him, Simon. So this guy's name was also Simon. So this could this be Simon the sorcerer or someone like him? Okay. I have somewhat to say to thee. And he said, Master, say on. Unless he's talking to Simon Kepler, he could be talking to Kepler. Simon, I have someone, Simon, if we take the N off, it would be Simo. Because we didn't say Simon, we said Simo. That's what light, it means Simo, or Simo means light. I have something to say, and he said, Master, say on. There was a certain creditor which had two debtors. The one owed 500 pence, and the other owed 50. And when they had nothing to pay, he frankly forgave them both. Tell me, therefore, which one of them will love him most? Simon said, I suppose to whom he forgave the most, and said unto him, Thou hast rightly judged. And he said to Simon, Savest this woman? Seest thou this woman? I entered into thine house, thou gavest me no water for my feet, but she has washed my feet with tears and wiped them with the hairs of her head. Thou gavest me no kiss. Now so he's got to be talking to a Pharisee whose name is Simon. Okay, so it's not Kepler. So now we can see he's talking to another person named Simon. So he doesn't have any light if he's thinking wrong. Okay, that's why we have to say away nu siemi. Or do you have this because your name is named Simon doesn't mean you have the light. Okay. Thou givest me no kiss, but this moon too came in and has seized my kiss my feet, my head with oil. Thou didst not anoint, but this woman hath anointed with feet my ointment. Wherefore I say unto thee, but also the beasts and the birds of the air, even the fishes of the sea. But to whom little is forgiven, the same loveth little. Her sins, which are many, are forgiven, for she loved much, not only the moon too, but also the beast and the bird, yea, even the fish of the sea. But to whom little is forgiven. And she said, and it says, the sins are forgiven, and they who sat on the table began to say, who is he that forgiveth sins also? This is when they started to have an issue. Though he has said, I forgive thee, but thy sins are forgiven thee. For he discerned true faith and penitence of the heart. And the Fumu Yisu needed not that any should testify of any muntu, for he himself knew what was in men, or Bana Betu. All right, why am I reading this to you? Your forgiveness is based off of what? The intima. And this is even what Simon Toko and Kimbangu was talking about. This is what I keep talking about when it comes to us in the relationship with the Father. In order to be forgiven of your sins of Tatanzambi, your heart needs to be in order. What does that mean? It means that you have no reservations towards anyone, but you are sorrowful for what you have done to the Most High. You see, many Bana Betu are going to fall short, and they continue to fall short because, for one, your heart is with the wrong God. That's the first problem. Even though you have a good heart, you're giving it to the wrong God. And you don't understand that. Two, you cannot, this is why Kuso Kongo was saying, if you hate your brother, okay, if you have hatred in your heart for your brother, now I'm not talking about the whole pagan concept that people have gotten mixed up with, because the devil can trick you with this too. Okay, it means you must know your forgiveness is going to the right God and not the imposter. That's the worst part. And two, you must treat the Bana Betu. This is why they make us hate each other out here. For the 12 tribes that he was really focusing on, they want us to hate each other or have jealousy for one another, because then the Most High will not forgive you the way you want. No. So when you're listening to people who start attacking people when there's jealousy involved, and this is what happened with Yosephu and his brothers, their forgiveness could not happen until they realized that animosity towards our brother has to end. So here's how they keep us from the Kintwari we're supposed to have as a nation. As long as the Bana Betu of Isaele, the Bakongo, the Benanzambi, and this is what the Most High's enemies understand, have animosity towards one another, then in their minds, they're stopping the return of the kingdom. But here's how foolish they are. Tatanzambi already has the list of those who will bring the kingdom down. Regardless, they won't stop it. Okay? There's nothing they can do to interfere with this process. It's already happening. Because the world is now waking up to the fact, many people are, that you tricked us to put our heart with the wrong God. It doesn't matter if you love people, if your prayers go into Amon-Ra. That's the problem. You want your prayer going to the one that can really forgive the sins, because Amon-Ra can't forgive nothing. But they're tricking you with this. That's why when you go to celebrate these false holidays that he has put, you have gone and you start doing all of these false feast days. You start participating in the things that the Most High did not ordain as his. You are contaminating yourself always. Even though you can have, that's why they say, you can still be happy because you're ignorant of the fact that you're being contaminated. So joy can still be there. But at the same time, where you're not getting charged, you're getting drained. You're not becoming godlike, boom, power. You're just mediocre. You're doing it carnally, not spiritually. Big difference. When you're doing it spiritually, okay, with the Mwanda or the Holy Spirit really being there, people, you will change. That's why people get, when I have been able to do a part of, when I've been able to interact with people and I've been doing some of this stuff, okay, the people who come out of Christianity, they're confused. They're like, I don't get it. How did this person change? You must have, then they're going to come and say, you must have done something to them. But this is how the wizard plays the game. What you do is when you show up the wizard, he's going to make you look like the bad guy. This is the concept. When you are really changing people's lives, and those people are actually reconnecting themselves to where they should be, and their lives have completely changed. And I'm not just talking, people say, well, I've gone to churches and I've seen people's lives change and this and this and that. I'm like, no. Let me explain the difference. When we say change, it's like you will see the world completely different, to where people will know you are no longer like the world, period. Meaning, you're not going to go along with any of the things that are evil masquerading as good too. No, you're not going to want to interact with these things. And then they're going to look at you like, what are you, crazy? This is how now you worship the devil. You don't want to participate in this. You don't get it. You have no idea what it is that you are doing. Now I see that. Just because the whole world is doing one thing doesn't mean it's right. Or just because one religion is saying it's good doesn't mean that it is. Not everybody's being honest, because they're doing it for what? The wrong reasons. They're making it look like they're doing it for the right reason, but they have learned something backwards. When you have learned it backwards, upside down, you don't even know what you worship. Like it says, you don't know what you worship. Okay? I'm going to finish up with this. I wanted to talk about exactly why they don't put this one in there. See, here goes the Yesu with no S. Trying to figure out where's the part. In Thessalonica, this is how you know, was a rich noble youth, Exos, who came without his parents' knowledge and asked to be shown the way of truth. He was taught and he believed and followed. It was Andre. The W was not pronounced. Taking no care of his worldly estate, the parents heard that he was in Philippi and tried to bribe him with gifts to leave Andre, and said, would that you had not these riches, then how would you know the truth of Tatanzambi, God, and escape his wrath? Do you see now? Then you want to see why they don't want to put the scripture in there. This person was wealthy and a noble youth. Came from money. This right here destroys the prosperity gospel like you wouldn't believe. Okay? It also shows you, wealthy Christians, you have lost your mind. You see this? He left his wealth in order to become affiliated with the Most High's way. The parents heard that he was and they tried to bribe him to come back. See how the devil works? Okay? The devil is always going to try to bribe people who want to know the real truth to come back away from it and to keep you in the doctrines of itchy ears that you already live in. This is why I try to tell people, there's no way you can be in obedience to the Most High's law, statutes, and commandments, just like I talked about in the scripture in the Holy 12, and He's going to leave you sitting out there with no food to eat. No way. Because it said, the Messiah said, if you follow me, you will never hunger and you will never thirst. So you cannot have these variations in the different followers. Oh yeah, you got these people who are never hungry, never thirst because they got so much money and they're really powerful Christians. And then you got the people sleeping in the gutter. It's not possible. Or they say, oh, well, the churches have the food banks and they have all of the things. It's like, no. The Most High Himself will, the Maleki, the angel will come and feed you. Just like what happened when Bana was in prison. When he wouldn't call Nimrod the Most High. And he tried to starve him to death. The Maleki came and gave him food to eat. Man, come on with this. Hello. Alo. That's what he used to say. Alo. Not hello. Alo. Sikama. Wake up. Especially black folks. Your pastor cannot be sitting on big money, nice house, everything, rocking millions of dollar bank accounts. And you can't even pay your rent. Which that in itself is also a jacked up system. Because you're not even supposed, let me put it like this. Like I said, the scarcity system was created on purpose from those that you continue to believe are actually helping you. No way. There's nothing scarce about the Most High's creation. He has enough for everybody around the whole world. They are lying to people. Okay, keep believing it. Oh, but they say, oh, I'm comfortable. I got my nice house. I got my nice car. Me. Everything's, the Most High don't care about that. The Most High don't operate the way people think. He's about bloodline. He's about lineage. And he's about what are you doing for my kingdom? Oh, America's God's kingdom. No, it's not. No way. If it were, all the cities would be at peace. You don't get it. With that down, I said the king retired and preached the gathered band and came to burn escape. Andre too came down from the third story and preached to them, but in vain. He retired and shut the door to the house. They gathered a band and came to burn the house, saying, death to the son who has forsaken his parents, and brought torches, reeds, and faggots. No, faggots was a word for now they've affiliated with gay, but it's what they use to put around the torches and set on fire, and set the house on fire and blazed it. Exos took a bottle of water and prayed, Fumu Yesu Christu, in whose hand is the nature of all the elements, whose moistness, the dry, and the driest, the moist, the coolest, the heart kindles quench. Put out the fire that thy servants may not grow evil, but be more enkindled in faith. He sprinkled the flames, and they died. Oh! Now he's talking to Kongo, okay? So don't think that Kongo can't answer prayer. But at the same time, we know the power comes from Tatanzambi. Look at this prayer he put. And Kongo put the fire out. You think the Kongo don't have power? Yeah, he does. He sprinkled the flames, and he has become a sorcerer. See how this works. Listen closely. Wikichila. When you demonstrate the power of the Most High, you will be called a sorcerer, because they are under the influence of the sorcerer who don't want to be showed up. Because it is the wizard who wants them to be set on fire. You see this? Because they're learning the truth. Anybody who teaches the truth, they will want to kill you. This is right here. Okay? He became as his parents, and the God ladders to climb up to kill him. But Tatanzambi, now watch this. Watch what the Most High did. Watch this. They wanted to kill the boy who was following the Abafundi Andre. Look what happened. Tatanzambi blinded them. They went blind. Oh, they can't see. Hey, you think Tatanzambi don't protect you from people coming to kill you? Look at this. They remained abstinent, but one, the Smakius, a citizen, said, why preserve? Tatanzambi is fighting for these. Desist, lest heavenly fire consume you. They are touched and said, this is the true Infumu. Okay? Now, this is for the people. Okay, that have had churches destroyed by tornadoes, that have had fires burn their church, that have had their houses demolished by bad weather, that have had their houses flooded, that have had their world turned upside down by so many things. Do you see why they don't want to put this in the Bible? The Most High, what did he do? Not only did he make them blind when they tried to kill these people, they couldn't see. Oh, where did they go? The fire was put out that they were going to set the house on fire. Hello. Hello. Sikama. It is not night. It says, watch this. Now check this. Check this. This is Tatanzambi right here. This is King Kongo. This ain't no Sol Invictus doing this, people. They were touched and said, this is the true Infumo. It is now night. Now they see how people talk about night turn to day. You're going to see when the Most High come, watch. But light shone out, and they received sight. King Kongo turned the night into day. See, when you're with an Abafundi of the Most High, that's teaching the Most High's way. Nobody, the Most High, like, he'll make you invisible to the people who want to destroy you. That's one part. And no harm will come upon you. Just like Toko. Why you think he did that on, man? He let them run him over with the thing so they could show them, you can't touch me, bruh. No. You think they wanted to tell the Christians what was going on? Even when he talked about how the Jehovah's Witness was talking about the Armageddon, which is a Greek word, okay? He said, the Mwanda Velala will protect those that can arc. Just like what happened with the animals. They won't get touched. Watch, you're going to see this. Truly Christu, whom Andre preaches, is the Bana Muntu. Oh, Jesus Christ is the only Son of God. Man, go sit down somewhere. This is why I try to tell people that Tatan Zambi, Kuswa Kongo, wants many messiahs like him, not just one guy that you're talking to all the time. Because now they're calling the disciple. Remember, they weren't even listening to him. Do you think they listen to people who preach the truth? No. You see, he said, man, my preaching is in vain. They ain't listening to me. Why do you think I know many people here in America and around the world that choose to say, baby, you full of it? Watch what's going to happen. Bailey, you don't know what this guy is a false person. Okay. You're going to witness this, that those who went back to becoming Ganganza, to be turned into a Bantwe, like what they were preaching, a Bantwe, that connect to the Chiluba. Watch what's going to, man, that's why I'm telling you, there's so many false messiahs out here. When you are attached to the Chiluba, why would Tatan Zambi cause you to fall into problems from those who are coming after you? Look what he did. Look what he did for the apostle Abafundi and the man who wanted to learn from Andre. The people went looking for him, they went blind. Can't find him. Okay. And then they put the fire out. I'm telling you, you need to start paying attention to those who have become connected to that stupid God. I'm fighting him every day because I know this is the problem I'm having even now with people, it's like you don't get it. As long as we don't focus and give too much attention to anything in Babylon, you're going to lose the connection with the Most High. I understand this. You and us and we, this is why they didn't want us to speak the language anymore. Do you get it now? They know the power is in the tongue. What you say, that's why this one person even said there's certain words that Rastafari won't say because they know it bring curses. I have to speak in the English because this is what the world knows. Okay, that stupid island got everybody speaking this wicked language. You're going to see what's going to happen to England. Man, you don't even know. They put it in the movie, The Cobra. You think that ain't going to happen to England? Oh boy, England going to go under the water. The British Columbia, goodbye. You ain't going to see it no more. The King who? Yeah, right. The Tanzania going to take that water going to take, you're going to see that place go goodbye because of all the things that they did. You think they're just suffering now? It's just getting started. All the converted except the youth who cursed him and went home, leaving all their money to public uses. 50 days after watch this, 50 days after, they suddenly died. And the citizens who loved the youth returned the poverty to him. He did not leave Andrew, and he spent his income on the poor. Now you see why they didn't put this in the Bible that you're reading. And they kept it and said, oh, no, this is Gnostic. Of course, the sorcerer wants you to pay him the money. They get rich off of the 30 pieces of silver for you to be a Judas. Oh, yes. You're going to pretend like you're helping the poor when they made you poor on purpose from the system they created. I told you, if you don't believe me, you're going to see that the fact that the creator knows that the capitalist system is satanic. That's why Satan sits in the middle of Washington, D.C. You don't even understand this. That's why Satan's sitting out there in front of New York City. Satan run the banks. Okay? But when you tell people this, oh no, you crazy, you this. No. You don't, man. There was a person who put it on, even on this, I'm going to tell you how they lied to you. In the 1800s, you kept what your earnings were. Let me say it again. You kept what your earnings were. Now what's happening to you? You're giving your earnings to somebody else. How did that happen? You got tricked. I'm telling you, in the 1800s, before they implemented this system, you kept your earnings. You didn't even need to have a union like you have now. The whole purpose of the union was because the people started taking the earnings and the profits from you. Why do you think they give such a hard time to the small business owners? That's why you have more protection working for them than working for yourself. How do you think that happened? And then you're paying taxes now on everything, right? You don't get it. Okay? The youth asked Andre to come with them to Thessalonica, all assembled in the theater. Now remember, Thessalonica was where he was sent to go preach, and he wasn't no white guy, no. The youth preached to them. Andre remained silent, and all want. Now you're gonna see why Toko did what he did for the Tokoist youth. You see what this Andrew's doing here? Okay? But you cannot teach the young people wrong. And why do you think I quit teaching? Because I know that the educational system is ran by Sol Invictus, is run by Amon-Ra. All over the planet is like this. The educational systems, even the colleges and everything, all Amon-Ra. Oh, you don't even know. And the church is the same. Oh, boy. You're going to find out. The people who, man, these people who have infiltrated and started even perverting Simon Toko's preachings, you don't even know. I've seen it. I know what's coming to these people that keep preaching Amon-Ra. The youth preached to them. Andrew remains silent. Now watch this. All of the assembly, they're glad to see their favorite. The youth preached to them. Andre, remaining silent, and all wondered at his wisdom. The people cried out, "Save the son of Carpianus, who is ill, and he will believe." Carpianus went to his house and said to the boy, "You shall be cured today." Adeimantus, he said, "Then my dream is come true. I saw a man in his vision healing me." He rose up and dressed and ran to the theater, outstripping his father and fell at Andre's feet. The people see him walking after 23 years. The man couldn't walk for 23 years. He couldn't move for 23 years, and he ran. Oh, you don't understand. And then they cried, there is none like the God of Andre. You think that they're talking about the God of Christianity at this time? No. Who is the God of Andre? Not no Amon-Ra, Sol Invictus, Jesus Christus liar. No. Not no Kaina masquerading leper Cain. His God was Bana Betu of Isaele. He was the God of Abana Saka Yakubi. You think this is Allah? No, there ain't no Islam this time. Oh, you've been hoodwinked, bamboo. I'm telling you, the only God that could bring this kind of healing was Tata Kongo. Rome knows this. The Protestant, remember, the Protestant churches were started by the Freemasons. They know they fight in Tata Kongo. They're the ones who put Bana Betu on the crosses for the Roman Empire. Man, you don't get it. I told you, those legionnaires turned into the Knights Templars, who then turned into the Masons. You think they don't remember who they were putting on crosses? Man, you better go somewhere. Just like the same thing they was doing, the lynching black people. Hello. The Klan comes from the secret society. They know who they were lynching. Go sit down somewhere. A citizen had a son possessed by unclean spirit and asked for the cure. Check this. The demon, foreseeing that he would be cast out, took the son aside into chamber and made him hang himself. Oh, you think demons don't make you do things when they know they're going to be cast out of you? The father, now watch this. The father said, bring him to the theater. I believe the stranger is able to raise him. And he said to Andre said to people, what will it profit you if you see this accomplished and do not believe? They said, fear not, we will believe. The lad was raised and they said, it is enough, we believe. Why is this not in the Bible? Because the sorcerer cannot raise the dead. We don't tell you. I don't tell you. I've already told you this. We're telling you, Kimbangu raised people from the dead. Look here. What did Elias say? The wizard can do everything but that. The demon thought he could get away by hanging the child, and Andre Datanzambi raised him from the dead. Hello. The devil cannot stop the Most High ever when the Most High is going to do something. Man, you don't even know. He thought he could kill the child. The child got back up and the demon was gone. Do you even know the power that we have walked away from 500 years ago? How many people have had their child hang themselves out of whatever they're dealing with? Did the pastor come and say, hey, let's raise this child up because the demon got a hold of this child? I'm listening. Wikichila. Anybody? You show Christians this, they're gonna pass out. My child hung themselves. My child hung themselves. My pastor didn't do that. Hello. Boom. This just destroys this scripture right here This destroys the pagan Rome Christian belief right here. This destroys Islam. This destroys Judaism. Why do you think they don't want to see a Mona come out? Okay. A Mona raises the dead. The demon said, I'm going to run away. I'm going to hang this child. The demon talked to the child. You think the demons don't talk to people? Look at this. No, don't let me. I told people, you don't battle against flesh and blood, but principalities. I have successfully, thanks grace to the Most High, kicked out several times the demon of smoking. You think they liked it? Oh, I don't think so. They think they're coming for me. Man, they don't like this. The person quit smoking that second. They didn't go, you didn't, man, let me tell you. They went to smoke, they put out the cigarette. I watched it happen several times. It isn't until to this day, because my wife, that's what she did. None of her people in her family can understand. She tried to quit, I don't know how many times. Not only did she quit, the urge to smoke was gone. Like, man, these people making money on these commercials. Oh, go get this gum to help get the herb, the Nicorette. They selling this stuff to get you to quit smoking. Boom, my wife was done with it. It made she got sick. She couldn't even taste the cigarette. Man, I'm telling you, you are out here with a bunch of charlatans preaching a gospel that was not preached. We did not need to be taught how to cast out demons by the Christians. No. Bana Betu of Isaele already knew how to do it. The Kongo people knew how to do these things already. They wanted the kingdom of Kongo, the Intotila, to be destroyed because then they knew we were going to start they knew we were going to start coming after the unclean spirits of our own people and the world. They didn't want that. You don't understand. Once you gain the ability to know how to fix people's lives for real, they're going to know who you are. Oh. But if you go out there doing it and they don't know who you are, oh, you better forget it. They're going to tear you up. You cannot be a milk drinker out here doing this stuff. Your life will get turned upside down. I told you the story of the woman. This is why let me explain something and then I'll be done. This is how you know you come from the Pemba Kalunga or you come from Atlantis. The woman was a European white lady. And I told the story before. She accepted Kongo to be her savior. She come telling me, you know what happened to me? Oh, this demon come out. The demon come out. I'm going to kill you. Okay? You know why? Because when you switch over, this is how you know the difference between the Most High's kingdom and Shaitani's kingdom. They don't know who they are. The reason why he want to kill that woman, he says, because I was your father and you rejected me, I'm going to kill you. Hey, you think that he don't know who's who? And then he coming for me, boy. You think he ain't coming for me for that? He don't like it he does not like it at all when you take somebody who comes from the pagan gods to the non-pagan. Man, you don't understand. It's one thing to pull the people back who came from the Most High. They still don't like it, but they know that was his child anyway. But when you take one of theirs, okay, because it rewrites the DNA of the person, you don't get it. You're rewriting the DNA in the person to now they don't look like Sol Invictus anymore. This is what Paolo was talking about when he says, now you will have a place in the Most High's kingdom. I told you, they want the Most High down here looking and seeing Sol Invictus in everybody. So you stay with Atlantis and all these other and the fake gods or whatever. Okay, that's what they want to see. When they start seeing King Kongo, when Shaitani's looking, he see King Kongo, or he go nuts. I'm gonna kill you. Can't stand this God. He gonna go crazy. I've been in this fight, I don't know how many years now, when I started to realize that they weren't talking to the right God. You can't even just walk up in the church anymore. Oh no, this guy gonna expose it. Because when you have this spirit of exposure now, you will expose the person who's preaching. Just with one question, it'll shut down the church. What's the question you asked the pastor? How many people have you raised from the dead? The people will look at him. Yeah, how many people have you raised from the dead? But the Bible says you have the Holy Spirit. You're supposed to raise people from the dead. How many people you raised from the dead? Mm-hmm. That's the one question that exposes every Christian pastor that has ever preached. Even the Pope, man. Why do you think now they got the clones ready for it? Man, you don't even know. The majority of the world doesn't know they come from clones from generation to generation. Even it don't matter what complexion you are, black folks, white folks, Asian people, Native Americans, okay? Their God is Hermes. He's the clone maker of what they want to call our people. Okay? You don't understand that this spirit that I just showed you is in so many people they don't even know that he's there. Because when you're not serving Tatanzambi's kingdom, you're serving the kingdom of the Canaanites. Who is that? Okay. All right. Zola Quingi, Sambololo, Inawezi Yabe Kongo Kutwala. Yeah, I would say you better, if you're not paying attention, we're here. It's gonna start. Man, this is gonna be one of the worst winters. You already see they've had this is why why they've been quiet about the hurricanes, because I told people it was gonna be a bad hurricane season. There's a big one coming, and it's gonna come late. Okay, You're gonna see some stuff happening. They're trying to keep they're trying to tone it down because you see, it's not just, it doesn't have to just hit America. It's hitting, they're hitting in the Asia and China and stuff like that. They don't want to report it because then it makes me look like I'm valid. The devil don't ever want to validate the Most High's prophets. Make him look, no, there's a lot of people dying right now because they don't want to talk about the destruction that people are getting hit with. The news can control that. That's why they're telling the scientists, hey, don't talk about no tornado, no hurricane, no. You're going to see a massive storm that's coming. Get ready for it. There's going to be, they even toning down. You see how many tornadoes been ripping through they've been having tornadoes like crazy. But they toning it down. Why? They know what's going on. This is the game they want to play. I'm like, hey, this is going to be a storm that they ain't going to be able to hide from nobody. Better believe that. Everybody going to be talking about it. All right. For those of you I heard about Kongo, I hope that those who are suffering will find solace that King Kongo is coming. You must understand that Africa is going to go through some massive changes because they got to start getting rid of the people who are leading you to the slaughter. That's just the way it has to be. The same thing about the rest of the world. They got to start getting rid of the people that are leading people to the slaughter. When they're telling you that they're anticipating 90% of the United States of America to be impacted by the next major events, they're not joking. I have seen it. The same thing with Canada, South America, Africa, and other places. You're going to see a major impact on the people who are praying to Amon-Ra, whether they know it or not. The Amon-Ra people must go. There has to be. We're heading into the day of rest, and there's not going to be no more worship of no Egyptian or pagan gods anywhere. No. You're not even going to remember who they are because you can't even mess with it. All right, Zola Queen Sambololo, and play the song quickly. We'll do this one. Again, I don't own the rights to the song, and I don't have any rights, not for redistribution of any kind. This is only for the edification of the channel. You may not hear it. I put it in my check. The Prince of the Mighty, the Most High's way. Hosanna na Yahweh. You think we didn't know who he was? I remember that dance. That came from the 80s, you know? I forget the name of it. Because if it's not coming through, if you can't hear it when I'm doing the video, I'll put it in the description box so that when it starts, you can play it on YouTube with it. So you can hear the song. I don't know, it's like every time I upload it and record, it's an algorithm thing that's going on. I know it is. Because when I go live, you can hear it just fine. It's weird. And I've seen my older videos and I didn't have this problem. I had a different camera, but even when I had this new camera, I didn't have this problem. So something's going on with the algorithm of YouTube. I think they're the ones doing it. No. Because too many people are waking up now and they don't like it. Sorry. Simba, see? Yesu Simba is what they're saying. Yesu Simba. Yesu Simba. You think we don't know the truth? They're lying. Abantwe. Read the people that knew this. That's when we need to stop messing around with these false doctrines and go back to the real way. That's why I read these other scriptures that you don't know that they're talking about. Just like you're gonna find the truth about Maria Magdala. You're not telling the whole truth about her either. That was his wife. That's why I told you they changed a lot. And she wasn't no modified leper. No. Looking like leper Cain. No, thank you. She was a chuluba. She was a Bana Betu just like he was. All right. Kembo, hallelujah. Zambi Monene, Zambi Ampungu Tlendo. What's the one they like to sing when they say, Zambe Wiza Watu Sadisa. We're coming to that point where everything that's idolatry is going to end and nothing's going to stand. That is. You're not going to have any more teachings that will soon be where you teach the good and the bad together. No. You will soon be where there's no more you teach what's good is evil and evil is good. There's nobody calling what's good evil and evil good. This is going to come to an end. This is what they've been counting down to try to stop the day of Tatanzambi. They didn't stop anything. It's happened. He already did it. The day of the Most High has already happened from the time he laid the foundation. They think they bought time. It's like, no, you're going to see what he has done already. I talked about it from when you go from 1485, when Nzinga signed the treaty. I put this on X. I even put this on Twitter. Okay. 1985 marked 500 years from that. Okay. You're now going into 2024, which we already are in, but it's really not 2015. We know they did a lot of money. The whole calendar's off. Okay. It'll be, when you go to 2024, this will make it, because it's 1885, it'll make it 500, or actually 84, it's like 40, because when they did the Kongo conference was in 1884. It'll make it 540 years. A 9. Now remember Kimbangu and Toko said the number 9 goes to a 0, reset. Okay, that means you're about to see the reset. They know it's coming, but they're not going to tell you the real reason why. We're heading to the 0, the countdown. When remember they mocked it in the movie. They mocked it in the movie Independence Day, which is really about us. They did everything so. Oh my gosh. Our Independence Day is coming to 0. Independence from what? Amon-Ra liars. The Bana Betu of Isaele will be free from all pagan gods very soon. And those who masquerade like they're not with them. Because Mfumu Yusa already started. General Fade is already going off. But they're not going to, I told you, they will not advertise the revolution of the Kongo people against the system. No. They're going to code it in ways that you don't even know. You don't even really understand that they're not even talking about the stuff that's going on in Africa right now at all. Not even being mentioned in the media. You can only see it on Twitter. That's what I'm seeing it. Okay? And I'm telling you, all of those who are sabotaging, but at the same time making it look like they're with us, the sabotage is about to come to an end. You're going to see it. They won't be able to sabotage anymore because the one that's helping them sabotage is going to be taken away. Watch. He's going to get taken out of the picture because they have to take orders from the saboteur, and he's not going to be there. All right? Ingeta Zolokwengi Sambulolo, prepare. The shift is coming. No more sabotage because the saboteur will no longer be in the picture. Ingeta, hallelujah.